session.
you.
All right. Hi, everyone. So good afternoon. Welcome to another live session of Strength-Based Leadership Community Group. It's really nice to have you all here again. So I was just quickly introducing myself. So I'm a business entrepreneur, IT executive, and a certified life coach. So I'm just going to be your MC for today's event, and I'm very, very, very much excited to be here. So I would like to begin by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land we are meeting today and pay my respects to elders past, present, and emerging. So if I can also invite everyone to please introduce yourselves in the chat. Just state your name, where you're joining us from, and perhaps what you're grateful for today. So that would be awesome. So thank you, everyone. So I guess also just before we dive in, I would like to take you all through a short breathwork session, just to help us arrive fully in this space. So let's start. So I guess wherever you are, please find a comfortable position. Allow your feet to rest firmly on the ground and your hands relax. If it's comfortable, please close your eyes. So take a moment to notice your breath as it is. And if you find your mind wandering, that's perfectly natural. Simply guide your attention back to your breath. Now, let's breathe. Take a deep breath through your nose for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 2, 1. Breathe out through your mouth for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's repeat. Breathe in for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 2, 1. Breathe out for 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's do it one more time. Breathe in for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 2, 1. Breathe out for 4, 3, 2, 1. Now allow your breathing to come to its natural rhythm. And notice how your body feels, perhaps a little more grounded and a little more relaxed. Now slowly open your eyes. Thank you, everyone. So now I would like to pass it on to Om to just give us a little bit quick intro about why this community group. So Om.
Thank you very much, sir, and thank you for that little exercise. It really helps me to sort of start fresh. uh, why strength-based leadership community group? Now we thought about this and worked on this for a long time, and I guess we got 3 overarching reasons. Uh, Firstly, you know, as you've seen events across Australia and around the world, the recent events, we live in a world that often highlights what divides us. But at Strength-Based Leadership Community Group, we believe in something more powerful. What unites us is far stronger than what divides us. For instance, I live in Blacktown in Western Sydney. For those of you who are not familiar with Blacktown, it's one of the largest local government areas in the country. We got people from 188 countries of birth, and we speak 182 languages. How diverse can it get? But we got so much in common. We all want to live in a safe place. We want a clean and green neighborhood. We want our children to be running around and playing with each other. We want our elderly parents to be walking around safely and being taken care of. That's all common. And yes, we've got diversity and differences, which adds on top to the richness of who we are as a society. We bring our languages, different cultures, different food, and that's what we enjoy. But that it's not the other way. We don't start with that. We start with what's common, and then our differences and diversity is added on top to the richness of who we are as a society. Secondly, at the heart of this group is a simple but powerful idea. We want to move from a need-based approach to a strength-based approach. Start with what we already have as individuals and within our communities. Our passion, our skills, and our experiences that we all bring. That's cool. We can start with that. We already have it. Rather than focusing on needs and problems in the community, we focus on our strengths. We can still address needs. We can address problems, but by focusing on our strengths. We just simply flip that approach. And finally, our communities face such complex and multidimensional challenges that not a single person, even the richest person in the world, cannot solve it alone. Not a single organization or a single sector can solve that alone. That's why the Strength-Based Leadership Community Group exists. This is your platform. This is our platform. This is our space to connect, share, learn, and collaborate with other change makers from grassroots community leaders to public, private, and NGO sectors. So we really want to invite you all to join, I call this a movement, to join this movement and start contributing to creating a better world that we all aspire to. So with those words, back to you, Sarah. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. So up next, I'd like to introduce our keynote speaker for today, Daniel Gobena. Hopefully I pronounce your last name correctly, Daniel. So just a quick introduction about Daniel. So Daniel is a servant leader and a CEO of MECA, based in Mount Druitt, with a background in engineering and work experience in both New Zealand and Australia. Daniel applies a systems thinking and strength-based approach to social change. His leadership empowers culturally diverse families through education, employment, youth mentoring, and social innovation. Passionate about family transformation, Daniel believes in empowering communities from the inside out. Guided by the African philosophy of Ubuntu, I am because we are. Daniel exemplifies collaborative leadership, working alongside others to build inclusive, resilient, and flourishing communities across Australia. So with that, I would like to pass it back on to Om to start his conversation with Daniel.
Thank you, Sarah.
Over to you, Om.
Thank you. Thank you. Welcome, everyone. We are truly honored with your presence. But again, I'm so privileged to have Daniel with us. I've known Daniel for a long, long time. And as you can see, he's turned into a wise man, as Georgie was saying. You can see two wise men in the room now. We go a long way, in terms of, I've seen Daniel's journey over the years. And that's why, like, when we're thinking of a potential, speaker for our, or to have this conversation today, I thought of Daniel because I've seen him grow as a leader, and the way he deals with people at every level it's totally amazing. And I just wanted to, bring on board Daniel to share his own journey. Now, Daniel, let's jump into, the conversation straight away. Now, you're on mute, so you may want to unmute yourself. Firstly, I just want to ask you, what role has spirituality or mindfulness played in shaping your leadership journey? I was just asking Daniel, what role has spirituality or mindfulness played in shaping your leadership journey that I have seen over the years?
So spirituality has played a role in my life. So I remember being a young man, an angry black man, to be honest. I used to walk around angry at the world and the injustice in the world, and I felt like it was just me against the world, and it wasn't helpful because it impacted.
Maybe let's do this while I
Yeah.
think he might need some more time.
Yeah.
Let's move on to perhaps our next section. Yeah?
Yeah, we can
let's do that maybe.
have a conversation. Yeah.
Yeah, and all right. Apologies,
Let me
everyone.
change this to just give me a couple of minutes.
Yeah,
Yes,
we'll
that's
continue
fine.
the conversation. So that's fine. Yeah.
We'll continue on, and then
Yeah.
when you're back online,
Okay. Yeah, we'll
we
continue.
can come back to this section, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So apologies, everyone. I mean, it's technology. It happens, right? It's not in our control. What can we do? So I guess moving on to our next section, which is a breakout section. So we're just gonna, send everyone into breakout rooms. So we have, I think, 3 breakout rooms. And so you're going to be randomly sent into a breakout room. So I guess when you're in the room, perhaps just quickly introduce yourself and just share your thoughts. If you could share your thoughts on this question, which is, what does leading with compassion mean to you? So I repeat the question, what does leading with compassion mean to you? So if you can have a, little discussion about that, share your thoughts with the group, and we'll leave that room for 10 minutes and we'll come back and we'll reconvene. So we'll just do that now. We've got 3 rooms, Changemaker 1, 2, and 3.
And remember that you all are change makers. So we're getting you to the change makers room.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope the conversations were engaging and insightful. All right, so if I can now invite you guys to share some insights on what you discussed. So that would be great. So if anyone wants to share their thoughts, please put your hand up and feel free to jump in, I guess.
Just one person from each group.
There you go, Marilyn. All right, go ahead, Marilyn.
Thank you. I'm happy to share on behalf of our group. So I was in a group with Daniel and Nargis and Zahra, and when we were sharing about what we believe it means to be a compassionate leader, it was really great to see my mind immediately went to sort of global leaders and political leaders. And I love that Nargis brought us back to thinking about who are the people in our lives who demonstrate that type of leadership, whether they're our parents or our managers, people that we work with, or people that, some of our closer circles who've displayed those really fantastic, compassionate leadership skills. And so it was great to identify those leaders in our lives, not necessarily the ones in the broader world around us. We spoke about common things that we all resonated with in terms of empathy, in terms of kindness. Um, we spoke a little bit about what it means to be a leader, a compassionate leader, as someone who puts others first, um, and also why that's so important when it comes to understanding the people that you're working with and then we had Daniel, who was cut off at the end, but made a really fantastic point, and he was reflecting on his own religious background and the story of Jesus Christ and how he loved people despite the fact that so many people showed so much hatred towards him, um, and how, yeah, in spite of that, there was such great care and consideration and compassion for those around him. And he also shared that his mother was also reflective of that compassionate leadership qualities as well. Yeah, there was a lot more to it than that. So please feel free, anyone from our group, to add more detail. But yeah, it was a really insightful conversation. Thank you.
Thank you. And you are such an amazing leader, Marlon. I look upon to you. So yeah, thank
Thanks.
you. Yeah.
Thanks, Marilyn. Anyone else? And please, yeah, I would really like to encourage to just put your hand up and just share anything, right? Please do. And we've got people from different sectors here, from every sectors. So it would be great to hear from everybody. Don't
Lynette
be
is trying to say
shy.
something.
Don't be shy.
I can see Lynette trying to say something, but are you on mute?
We're gonna have to start randomly picking people, I guess.
Please go ahead. Georgia is going to jump in if nobody else.
Yeah, I'm happy to.
Yes.
I have to stop myself because I talk too much usually.
No. When you talk sense, nobody wants you to stop.
I
So
was-
I know you from my Telstra days.
Hi, everyone. Yes, I was in the group with Nagendra, who is part of your community, I hear.
Yeah. Yes.
And also, oh my goodness, I've lost my other friend. Where's my other friend?
I'm in the group.
There you are, Wenjen. Yes, from RMIT.
Yes.
And that was beautiful what was just said before. But we were talking a lot about compassion and leadership around empathy, the same, and also how people want to be heard and promoting collaboration and trust in the team and in the community, and also helping people grow in their own way by leading in a way that allows each individual to grow in their own way. And then we had 4 minutes to go, so we started talking about other stuff, and we heard that we had our wonderful conversation about Western Sydney Uni and the nursing program, and hearing about the great experience of the scholarship, and I suppose the compassion in some ways, the leadership of the university in having a program like that that allows people to settle in the country and have the chance to get the best opportunities in Australia that Nagendra has been able to have in coming to Australia, and the university offering nursing and that support, which I suppose is a compassionate leadership kind of coming to life. But I was just about to say, when we got cut off, Najendra, we might have to put you on a stage somewhere at Western Sydney Uni and tell your story one day.
Of course.
That would be
Let's do
wonderful.
it.
And I was
Let's do it.
also saying, as a member of the Board of Trustees at Western Sydney Uni, I just in the last couple of months, I was able to go up on the stage on the day the last nursing graduates had their special day and graduated from the university. And it was a beautiful day watching all these beautiful faces and beautiful nurses all graduating. And we need more of them. We need more nurses. And the university's doing their part, but the community needs a lot more nurses and people helping out in the community.
Thank you. I think that's a very
Yeah.
on that positive note. One more from the other change makers group, the third one. Okay. Marilyn, Atem,
Yeah, go ahead,
who was in the group? Mira, whoever.
No,
Hi,
Atem has
hi.
put his hand up. Yeah.
Yara, Wankin. Okay. Atem, yes.
Hi. Sorry, I joined in late, so I'm not sure what group I was in. But my contribution in that very short time, because I was in there for 3 minutes and that was it. My personal contribution was that I was looking at compassion more critically, in the sense that it's easy to say, yes, we are compassionate, we like it, and it's the way to go, compassionate leadership, all that. That's really great. I don't think anybody disagrees, but in practice, it can be challenging because compassion, is underpinned by all other things that we also have. We have interests and we have needs and we have all sorts of other things that get in the way of us acting compassionately, buying compassionate leadership. So it can be really very, very complicated. There is also fatigue, that happens. So much is happening in the world, and you can see something, hear about something, and at some point you just switch off because it's just you get fatigued from all that. So leadership and leading by compassion is important. We need it, but we also need to recognize it's challenging and it has its challenges, and we need to be aware that we need to manage all the challenges that comes with that. So if you feel challenged, don't feel like you're a failure. It's just part of the process of leading by compassion. Thank you.
Thank you, Atem. I think just want to quickly add to, Atem made a really good point there. It's easier to say that, we should lead with compassion, but in practice, it's a lot more difficult. So we're not always in the right space of our mind. We've got our own challenges to deal with, right? So I think it comes with, I guess, the practice. It's like a learning journey for yourself. So that's why we do things like, for myself, I do things like, regular sort of meditation, breath work, just to help yourself get to that stage. But challenges and they always come in the way, but it's how you deal with those challenges and still be able to lead with compassion is what I think makes you a true leader, Lee. But thanks for that. And thanks everyone for sharing your reflections on the discussions you had. It definitely can tell it's very interactive and insightful session you guys all had. So thanks for that. So with that, I know we've got about 15-16 minutes to go. So I think hopefully Daniel's internet is stable and back online. I'm checking he's still with us, right? Yes.
Yes.
I think it's working now.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right. Awesome. All right. I will pass it back on to Owen.
Okay,
to continue
maybe
the conversation, please? Yes.
yeah, thank you very much. And Daniel, maybe we'll straight jump into that topic of compassion, I guess, because it's really interesting that, how your leadership journey has grown over the years. And maybe we can briefly, I would like to ask you, how has compassion actually transformed your leadership and the way you connect with others?
Sure. So just quickly, I was sharing in the group I was in about my journey, but quickly when Atem talked about the kind of people struggling with compassion, saying it is easier, but doing it is hard, which is true. And then it got me thinking about the word compassion itself. I'm very, because especially the university study hub is about Center for Critical Thinking. Always when I think about ideas, and I'll be like, oh, what does that mean? So usually I do go to the etymology, which means that the genesis of the word. So I just quickly looked it up. What is compassion etymology? And it says compati. It's a Latin word. It means to suffer together. It doesn't mean just to love. It means to suffer together, to bear someone else's burden. So what it really means is compassion means that how much are we willing to suffer, to carry someone else's burden, even when it's heavy. So it's not like a fluffy, lovely, hugging, that kind of stuff. It's like if when someone is being persecuted, when someone is going through difficult times, how much burden are we willing to carry with them? And I thought, wow, that is completely different understanding of what compassion really is.
Yeah.
And let's take a step back and look at the sector we're in. We in the sector of charity. Look at the word charity. It means love. The English in King James kind of all the Shakespearean charity. The old English they say when they say charity, it literally means love. So we're in the business of love. And love is not just a fluffy thing, but also it's a compassion. We're in the business of carrying the burden of others. And in that process also to be joyful. It's not for us to kind of have a depressed face and all that and say that, I'm carrying someone else's burden. It's like, no, I'm gonna be a joyful person while I'm still carrying someone else's burden. And so that I think is good to look at it in that context. When it comes to my personal journey in compassion or passion, is I think there's two things. I think I started with the story of being an angry black man. How's that? I came out of that being an angry black man to reasonably cheerful person is actually just understanding my identity, not just in a singular way. So I understood my identity as being a black man. And then when I'm trying to grasp that, what it means to be black, and I saw all sort of injustice and all sort of things happening, I find it hard. And that brought anger. Then I realized that, injustice doesn't sit on pigmentation. It doesn't sit on color or where you come from. Injustice lives beyond the skin, beyond the flesh, beyond the bones. It lives in the human heart. So then when I realized that injustice lives in the human heart, then that's where we need to fight it. Not just in someone else's human heart, it lives in my heart. And so how do I become weary of it, that I do the right thing? And I fight against the injustice, the bias, and the prejudices that lives in me. So, and I think that helped me. So then someone came to me and said that, I think it was my kind of awakening was that you are just more than a black man. He said to me, you are actually a child of God. You are made in image of God. So and it's that was a great awakening for me, that burden fell off me, because I felt like I have to fight the whole world, just me against the world, to like, wow, injustice is not on the skin, injustice lives in the heart. And be careful, it lives in your heart as well. And your identity is not just your ethnic where you came from, it's your spiritual identity, is your primary identity. And I think when I grasped that, I feel like that was my day of liberation. I literally feel the burden falling off me and saying that, wow, actually what I thought that was like a pivotal moment in my life.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's really interesting, Daniel. So it almost feels like you had an identity, but you broadened the identity as you grew your leadership. Is that one way to look at it?
Spot on. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because when we focus on a narrow identity and you empower somebody with a narrow identity, it can be dangerous. because you are looking at, say, I'm a, so and so leader, like of a, let's say Buddhist leader. Now, I would be protecting Buddhists at any cost at the expense of others. So if I broaden my identity as a human being, then I would be protecting all human beings. Is that the way you would describe?
Yes, absolutely. I think
Yeah, yeah.
seeing what you talked about, what brings us common together,
Yeah.
our human identity. I love it. There's probably dropping a couple of Latin words. It's just the word imago Dei is one of the love. I love the word imago Dei. It means made in image of God in Latin, and that is something that I always hold in saying that, okay, the reason I am in the social sector and the charity business is that everyone is made an image of God, and how do we protect this sacred, very important person? So it makes a big difference when you look at it, broadening it that way.
Yeah, I think this is one thing. One of the reasons we set this up is like, I live in Blacktown, as I said, and if we can create a harmonious Blacktown, I think we can replicate that across the country and around the world. So I think as Australians, we have that opportunity to export peace if we start thinking along that line, perhaps. So thank you very much for sharing that. I just want to touch on something else as well, like in terms of your own busy life, how you have grown over the years, like, from, where you were, 10, 15 years ago to now, taking on additional responsibilities and challenges. Now, I just wanted you to share how you integrate, personal spiritual practices into, high pressure leadership, context.
That's actually just remind me that I went for you and me had a chat about the workshop I was part of just a couple of days ago, and when I was called for an interview for that workshop, and they asked me one really interesting question. They said, as a CEO, when you don't know what to do, what do you do? you know and I was like, oh, that's a really good one. Like, you don't know what to do and what you do. And it's like I just said, I ask people. What did I say? I ask people, I Google, I pray. And they're like, wow, that's, in that order. That's like, maybe I change it around. But, in reality, when you are in this kind of position, always know that you don't have the answer. So therefore, be willing to go and humble yourself and ask other people. They might have ways. That's one thing. The other thing is that just sit with it and reflect about it, think through it. And prayer is my biggest one. And I think that, to things, and I sit and reflect and meditate on those things and to think through it as well. So definitely, when it comes to decisions, make sure those are the kind of things I do. Do research, talk to people, and pray.
Yeah, I think that's a fantastic way to do that. And I think that's why we talk about the strength-based approach. Is like we go to community not with answers, but with a question. And oftentimes, I think this is the problem we have currently, because we tend to take that top-down approach of, knowing, having the answers, and go to different communities and try to tell people what to do. Rather, if we flip that approach and say, you go to a community, and ask, what's working well here? I'm sure there's something working well, and help them to do more of it. It's so much easier rather than focusing on what problems we have, what needs we have, and then trying to meet those needs. And needs keep growing, and we are overwhelmed, and we think, it's an unsolvable thing. But if you flip that approach, a lot of things are working well in the community, and help people do more of it. So I think that way, it's a much better outcomes than, just focusing on needs and problems. And it's not very exciting to talk about needs and problems, but it's always exciting to talk about a passion, talk about a strength. So that's why we talk about the strength-based approach. So thank you very much for that. And finally, before you go, before we close up, I want you to share some practical tips in terms of how can leaders, take to, being mindful and, compassionate in their daily lives. Can you give some tips for all of us?
Sure. If I give one tip, and that would be, remember, I think the word we just looked at, maybe compassion means to suffer together. So the idea to carry someone's burden. So I guess just preparing ourselves for that, but also knowing that we need to be
generous towards ourselves as well, not to be charitable towards ourselves in a way. So then we have enough to give out to others as well. And I think that's very important. The second one, I think, is just reiterating what you said about question. This is also a couple of days ago, I learned something very powerful from others, was trust the power of your questions. And I thought, wow, that's a really good point. Trust the power of your questions, because sometimes we quick to give answers, or you said top down kind of stuff. Just be good at asking good questions and just pause and let people think through it. That is powerful. And I thought, wow, that's good. Just learn how to ask good questions, or you might direct people to the right thing, or we might discover something for ourselves. Be curious in that process. So yeah, compassion, suffer with others, but at the same time ask good questions so we know we can get to the solution. But also find out what gift every person that comes across you have some kind of gift in their heart and their mind. If you want to know what that is, just ask good questions. You might be surprised.
I think that's spot on. And like when I moved from Telstra to community, it was one of the biggest lessons I had to learn was, move from asking questions to, telling people what to do to, asking people what to do. If we had to move from telling to asking, I think that was a good lesson for me as well. So with that, I think, thank you all very much. Before I hand over to Sahara, I just want to, thank you all for being here. And this is such a wonderful forum here. I can see very, very senior people here with so much experience. Yeah, I can see some young faces with so much energy and passion and so much, potential to be explored. So, and then we can also see that there are people from the universities, corporate sector, and the community. And this is such a good opportunity for us to have this sort of conversation. And what would come out of this is left to our imagination, because we want to change the way we are doing things to create a better world for us, a better Australia, and better community for us. So we would love to see this grow. Please share this with your friends, colleagues, and let's grow this over time and start creating a world that we all want to aspire to live. With those words, thank you very much. And back to you, Sarah, just to wrap up and
Yes.
for the next
Thank
step.
you. I just want to say thank you both Daniel and Om for that very empowering conversation there, actually. So much to take away. So thank you both of you there. I guess I'm going to remember, Daniel, like you said, suffering together. I didn't know that, I mean, I've been practicing, specifically leading with compassion. Never thought of looking up what the actual word compassion meant. So I think that's going to stay with me. I'm going to remember that. So thanks for that. So with that, I think they already said, encouraged all of you to really sort of participate and just share and really interact in this community group. And it's great to see the group really growing, daily, actually. I think this is only our third session, and I can definitely see a lot of people actually sharing their thoughts and insights today compared to our very first session. So I guess with that, I'd like to, give a round of applause to everybody here in the group. So thank you, everybody. So I guess with that, I just gonna quickly wrap up. So we're going to continue to do these live sessions, I guess, every fortnightly. So I guess our goal and intention here is to really, I guess, in the similar pattern, similar structure, we will have, a guest speaker in every sessions, and to allow our guest speaker to share their thoughts. And we're going to have a topic for every session to really a discussion topic for that session. Yeah. So, but at the same time, I'd like to encourage, our intention is really to make it as much interactive as possible. So just remember, this is your forum. This is our forum. So the more people we have, the more people sharing their experiences, their learnings, and it's better. Right? We learn from each other that way. So if we could encourage everybody to really keep sharing your learning insights. We have a group there as well. We don't have to wait for the live session. Just go in there and just drop in whatever you feel like. I mean, perhaps make it a daily practice, I guess, daily go in there and share something. I think that way we would continue to grow. So that's our hope and intention here. So yeah, thank you everybody. I think I guess provided we have all those sort of technical difficulties, we're still within the time. Did I miss anything on that? Yes.
Very quickly, I just want to add that there could be connection amongst yourself. So there could be connections between and amongst yourself. So this is we just want to create this platform. So if there is a opportunity amongst three of you there, let's create that. If there is an opportunity across sectors, let's create that as well. So it can be outside of this, and three or four, if you can initiate something, that's all we want. We want this platform to be used by everybody, and let's make the most of it. And if you can invite your friends and whoever you think would benefit from this. Again, Marlene, I'm sure you'll agree, the government, Multicultural New South Wales does an amazing work in terms of how we bring communities together. But this is a complement to what we are trying to do, what the government is trying to do. Government alone cannot solve all the problems. So this is our community effort, so we just want to grow this community and see if all sectors can come together, different communities can come together to complement and create a prosperous and thriving New South Wales, thriving Australia, and contribute our own small way to the to create a thriving world. So thank you all. Thank you, Sarah, for being such a wonderful host. You didn't let us wait for things. You kept on moving things. So thank you very much, and thank you, Novi. Novi is my executive assistant. She does some amazing work behind the scene and always smiling despite all the challenges. So, and again, thank you all, every one of you, for joining.
Before sorry, I don't think we got to take a quick photo in the beginning, or did we? Perhaps, shall we do that quickly?
Nagendra, do you want to put on your, handsome face back on? Yes. Okay, Novi.
All right, Novi, go ahead.
All done. Thank you all. Thank you. And we'll see you around.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Have a good one.
See you guys. Bye. Bye.